So in this video on leads functionality within Microsoft Dynamics 365 for sales, we're going to cover off goals and how they can be used in tracking sort of lead performance within the system. Now, this is one in a series of videos we've done specifically on leads related functionality in Dynamics. You can see links to others in the series below. Also, if you've got any suggested content ideas or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. So let's go into the system. I'll show you what I mean by goals. Now, first of all, I have to say at the time of recording this, I think this is a sales enterprise or a premium feature, so it's not necessarily available to everybody, but I did want to show this in the context of leads because traditionally goals are used in terms of opportunity performance, being able to track sales against target or quotas. And you can see here I've got some goals set up for the period, and indeed two of these goals are revenue goals based on closing opportunity records. However, there is a role for goals in terms of tracking lead related performance, and I'll create a couple of goals for the period here. One is tracking the number of leads that are closed as qualified in the period. That's one metric I've set up, and the other is following the number of leads that get created in the period that become successfully qualified. So slightly different goals there. I'll just go into one of them and I'll show you the goals functionality if you're not familiar with it. So if I click into this one, and these are relatively easy to set up. So I've just gone into the General tab. I can see that it's got a name. I've got the option to link it to a parent goal. So I can actually have a hierarchy of goals. So you can actually sort of roll up the data from low level to the highest level of the organization if you wish to, if that was appropriate. I've not done that in this particular case. I've got a goal owner and I've got a assigned manager, but as I'm pretty much the only user of this system, this sandbox, then I'm the manager. And I've got a goal metric which I will show you. So my goal metric is called leads created, and we can have multiple metrics set up in the background of the system. That's not an administrator task as such, though administrators can set them up, but it's something that sales managers can also set up in the system as well. So let's just show you that goal metric that's been set up. I'll just click on that. That's gone behind the scenes to that particular goal metric to the General tab, and then I've got the fields that make it up in the background. And if I just open that up, you can see that we've got a query that is looking at the leads record, and it's looking for leads with the status of qualified, and we're tracking when they were created on. So in other words, it's picking up for the period in question, for the period of the goal, leads that were created during that period that have gone on to be qualified rather than disqualified. So that's how we've set that up. If I go back now and I go back to my goal, so that's the metric. If that wasn't the right metric, we can pick up another metric. We can have multiple metrics set up. Then the next piece of this is the time period we're looking at. And within the system, you can set up your financial year if you want to, or if you wish to, you could actually put in a custom period of time. But we've got the financial year set up, so I'm going to use fiscal period Q3, and it's picking that up from 1st of July through to 30th September. And I can pick up the fiscal year as well. And then we've got the numbers. What's my target? So what I'm saying in this case, unrealistic though it may be, I said we want 10 leads created that are qualified in the period. I can have child goals. So as I talked about that hierarchy, we could have other people's goals funneling into this one if I wanted to. In this case, I haven't. and then I've got the actual performance. So it's saying I've actually got 2 leads that have been created in the period and now qualified. So given I was looking at 10, it's telling me that I've got 20% of my target achieved so far this quarter. That we're reasonably near the start of the quarter, so not doing too badly. Now this roll-up routine runs on a periodic basis as set up by your administrator. But if you want to recalculate it, I can just click the recalculate button and it goes off and recalculates that again. So it hasn't changed in this case. There's been no updates during the day, but you can run that as and when you need to get an up-to-date picture. I've got some goal criteria here. Is it only coming from child records, or is it sort of taking my performance in as well? Is it picking up all records or just ones owned by me? So I've got some flexibility there. I've got the ability to add some notes, and I've got the participating records. So if I just change this to closed leads, I can see the leads that make up the 2 that I've created and closed as qualified during the period. So that's kind of the goals piece. And then if I want to, I can go sort of in and look at charts, for example. So I can actually see that I've got my 4 current goals on the screen here. It's saying I should have achieved 41% of target by now, given where we've reached in the quarter. I guess we're about the 5th or 6th week in the quarter. And then I can see my actual performance in terms of the 2 marketing ones we've got here, and my actual performance in terms of my sales ones, in terms of my sales against target, for example. So it's quite a useful way of sort of plotting progress. So I just wanted to really sort of explain that goals can play a role in sort of managing progress with people and teams that are handling leads. So it might be an area worth exploring. I suspect it's not something you can't live without, but if you've got the premium features, you've got the enterprise licenses, then it may well be worth setting that up. It's quick and easy to do, relatively speaking. So it can be a useful feature to help people understand how they're tracking against targets. Anyway, say one in the series that we've done specifically on lead related functionality. You can see links below to the lead playlist where we've got all of those videos together. Also, if you've got any suggested content ideas or you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the link below. Anyway, thank you very much for your time today. Hopefully see you again soon.